fishing friends, this is Matthew with Outfishing 13. Today when I was out fishing with my Zebco bullet, it had a lot of memory in the line. I knew that the line had just gotten too old. I think I've had this reel for a couple years now and I've never changed the line, and it's time to change it. So I've got some 8-pound Suffolks that I want to use, and I'm going to show you how to spool a spin cast, Zebco, or a closed face reel. So let's get started, and I'll show you the step-by-step instructions that will make it really simple and easy. So it helps if you have your reel mounted onto a fishing pole. I've mounted it onto just half a fishing pole here, and that's really helpful. So take and put your line up through the first guide, and then what we're going to do is we're going to unwind all of this old line onto this little cup here. If you're doing this out in the field and you put it on a stick or something like that, please be responsible and take and throw that line away in the trash when you're done with it. Don't spool it out and leave it on the bank or throw it in the water for animals and fish and birds to get tangled up in. So there's about 100 yards on this. I'm going to take all this off, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, I just finished putting on my line. Now I want to just show you the bad memory that this has in it. Now this is Zebco line that came with the reel when I got it a couple years ago, and it's got really bad memory in there, and it just gets old like that when it's not used and stretched out. It develops quite a bit of memory, and if the memory is, of course, where you're casting all the time, that makes it so it doesn't cast quite as good. Today I'm going to put some Suffolk 8-pound test smoke green on there. That's just something I have. I would recommend putting 8, 10, and 12-pound test on these Zebco bullets. Now, depending on your reel, you might, if it's a small micro closed face reel, I would recommend 6 or 8-pound test. Now you can use fluorocarbon if you want. I don't recommend fluorocarbon. I feel like the fluorocarbon is just too thin for these reels, and it will bunch up inside on your spool way more than what you would want it to do. So I would recommend just a good quality monofilament. Okay, now that I've got that off of there, I need to take the cap off. Now your cap may just spin off like this, and may just spin off a quarter turn and then come out. This bullet spins off like this. What I need to do now is I need to go ahead and get the line off of there. And I'm going to go ahead and remove my spool spinner cap just to make it easier to get down there and access it. So I just need to get down there. Well, this one actually just broke off, so that's good. So now I've got all this line off, I can dispose of it properly. Okay, what I want to do is I want to go through the first eye of my pole. Okay, and then I want to go through my spinner cap like this. Okay, my front cap. Bring the line through here. I'm going to just go ahead and put this back on there. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to just take and tie a knot. Just like that. And then with scissors, knife, or pliers, cut it off so the tag end is pretty short. And then you want to tie just a simple slip knot. And what that little knot I just tied does is it prevents it from slipping off, the knot slipping all the way apart and coming undone. So now that I've cut, now I'm going to cinch that up. See, now my knot meets my little slip knot. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to take and slip this around here around the spool. And tighten it up. And then put your cap on. And you're ready to start winding. So after you've got it started on there, you could take and put your line into a bucket. My dad used to always put some water in there, but all you need to do is just start running along there. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to hold on to my line here. And the reason why is if you let the line go onto your spool just loose like that, it's going to have, it's not going to be tight enough, it's going to be loose, and that's going to allow the line, when you reel in a lure or a fish, to kind of embed itself down into your spool of line. So make sure you put a little bit of tension on your line. Just hold it with your finger like this. Now, if you use a little spooling device like this one I have here, here's a little spooling device I have. I've got it in the clamp. If you use one like this, then you don't necessarily need to put all the tension on there. And let me show you that. So these are kind of nice. You can find them, and it's got a spring on one side. You can actually put a spring on both sides with a narrow spool. But you add a little bit of tension to that, and then you can spool it on there, and it adds all the tension you need, like you're reeling in a fish or a lure, and it puts all the tension you need on your line. Okay, let me show you something that I put in on quite a bit. This will hold about 120 yards of this. I want to take this off and show you how much line to put on there. Basically, all you want to put on there, if you can see, let's get it on there, is about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the spool. I'm going to take this off just for the sake of taking it out there to show you. But you can see the top of the spool there. You do not want to fill it all the way up to the top of that. So when you're looking down in there, and you can see the top of your spool, you want to get it so that it's about 1/8 of an inch from the top there. So let's finish this one up. Okay, let's check it. This is going to take a lot of line. Might take all the rest that I have on there. We're doing pretty good. We need a little bit more. Okay, let's see where that is. Okay, about 1/8 of an inch from the top. I'm going to take this spool off just so you can see. You don't need to do this. I just want to show you. See there? It's about 1/8 of an inch from the top. I could put a little bit more on there. I really don't need to though. I'm pretty satisfied with that, and that's good. Okay, and that's how you go ahead and spool the line on a spin cast, closed face, or a Zebco reel. And I would recommend changing your line depending on how much you fish. But if you want to have a better fishing experience where you don't have memory in your line and you're going to cast a lot better, get some good line. Any of the lines out there that are a good quality line, Trilene, Suffolk, Berkley. If you don't want to spool your own line and you want to get it changed every year, take it into your local tackle shop and they'll have a recommended line and they can do it really quick for you. And generally it only costs you $2 or $3 to spool a line on there. and then you're ready to go for the rest of the year. And just do it at the beginning of the season, and you'll have a lot better of an experience of fishing without all that memory. You can see this has got a little bit of memory in it, but not very much. This is going to cast 10 or 20 yards farther, and it'll be stronger. You won't have fish breaking off. Your knots will tie a lot easier, and you'll just have a better fishing experience when you go ahead and re-spool and get new line on your reel every year or two. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe by pushing on the button right over there. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.